This is your friendly neighborhood Nosarama, reminding you that it is football season, and that means it's time to cheer for the Broncos, or you're a loser. Okay, for seriousness though, today I'm doing a video that's kind of a follow-up, if you will, to the video that came out I think a few days ago at the point that this will come out. Basically, got a new exhaust. It's the Delkelvik Mini 8-inch, whatever you want to call it, stubby, shorty, blah 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 blah. Basically, I had to buy a new exhaust, and here it is. And right here you will see why I needed to buy a new exhaust. Basically, my old Danmoto Carbon GP one that I got for cheap 3 years ago when I bought the bike disintegrated on me. At least the clear coat of it did. Basically what had happened is that about a year ago or so, when I took the bike to the track, the bike of course was subject to heat that I had never seen before from heavy track riding, right? And what had happened on that track day is that a little bit of the sort of clear coat varnish kind of stuff that was on the outside of the Danmoto can covering the actual carbon fiber sleeve itself burned a little bit. It actually had a big burn spot on it. Well, not a big one, but had a little burn spot on it from the heat. And so I didn't really worry about it too much. It wasn't a big deal, right? But here in the last month or two, that exhaust basically its integrity, the integrity of the sleeve around the carbon fiber basically failed completely, and so that burn spot quickly grew. So literally within like the last month, the burn spot actually moved all the way up the exhaust and completely burned the clear sleeve, or the clear coat around it. And it was actually so bad that I could physically see the cracks, if you will, the little spidery web kind of veined cracks in the clear coat. And it even got to the point where on a hotter day where the exhaust was warmed up pretty well, I could actually, like at a stoplight, I could smell the clear coat burning. It smelled really bad. And so, needless to say, I bought a new exhaust. And so, this is as I said, the Delkelvik Mini 8-inch. This is actually the exhaust that I wanted to buy when I first bought the bike, because it sounds so great on the SV650. But back at the time when I bought the bike, Delkelvik did not make exhausts for the Gladius. They only made them for the SV650. Which means I couldn't, without custom fabrication, I couldn't get a mid-pipe down yonder that would fit the Gladius, right? It was kind of nice to have the excuse of the deteriorating Danmoto exhaust to buy this new Delkelvik. So, sounds awesome. For now, I do still have the stock catalytic converter down there. I'm trying to decide if I really want to keep it or not. Because I have been throwing back and forth the idea of getting rid of it, but this new exhaust is actually a reasonable amount louder and growlier than the Danmoto was. So I'm going to kind of ride with it for a little while and just sort of decide based on the sound if I really want to swap out the cat or not, because it's pretty loud as it is right now, and it actually sounds really, really good. Moving on to our next modification is this new tail tidy, undertail, fender eliminator, whatever the heck you want to call it, that I finally put on the bike. After 3 years of owning the machine, I finally decided to get rid of the giant stock fender and put on this aftermarket tail tidy from Ermax, I guess is how it's pronounced. This thing is beautiful looking. It uses the stock taillight, as you can see, and I opted to use the stock signals for now as well. I'm trying to decide if I want to leave those on there or not. I tend to not like shorty little stubby aftermarket turn signals just because they don't really look like they belong on the bike. They just kind of look like a weird thing stuck on there. And so maybe if I find some aftermarket signals that I really like, I might get those, but for now I'm leaving them as the stock ones, which also up there match the front ones. So far I do really like it. It's very nice. It's a full sort of tail light assembly there, and then as you can see it's kind of hard to see in the darkness, but it's a complete undertail that goes all the way under. It also relocates the seat unlock mechanism to right there. On the stock fender it's like, I don't know, it's like right here or something like that. It's kind of right in this area, so it moves that out of the way, of course, as well. It looks really good. I'll turn the lights on here. Sorry, the light keeps kind of coming in and out because the sun keeps going in and out from behind the clouds. So yeah, it uses a stock tail light. It also has a really bright LED light, lighting up my paper to cover your wandering eyes for my license plate. At night, this is really good. It's actually really bright, which I like personally because it doesn't only lights up the license plate, but it also sort of lights up the whole road area behind the bike, which I think is good because it just makes me a lot more visible at night from behind, which I like because sometimes I'm riding at night and I'd rather be seen than obviously not seen. So I really like that feature. Again, the brand of this thing is Ermax. They're one of the few companies that does make sort of bodywork for the Gladius. They make the undertail, they make a tire hugger, they make a new chain guard that can be color matching, they make like a passenger seat cowl covering thing. They make all sorts of cool stuff. The only bad thing about Ermax, at least, is that it's from France. So, especially they make parts for a lot of bikes, but especially on a Gladius, which is such a rare sort of bike in the U.S. The distributors here in the U.S. don't really carry Gladius parts like in stock like they might for another bike. So basically I had to have it special ordered, so it took about a month to get here because it was shipping from Europe. So that's the only sort of downside, at least with the Gladius, but it's totally worth it. I mean, it took, I don't know, it took maybe half a day-ish to put on to do some wiring and get it all fitted under there and get the whole stock fender off, which is like 40 pieces and all that garbage. I may look into getting some other Ermax parts. It just kind of depends. I really do like the look of their chain guard that they have because they make everything color matching for the Gladius. So as you can see, obviously the blue matches the blue on the rest of the bike, and you can get it in any of the colors that the Gladius comes stock in. So that's really nice that you can get color matching stuff. So I might get the chain guard. I probably won't get the passenger seat cowl, mostly because I commute on my bike a lot, and I have a big backpack that I ride with, and I don't want to worry about that, like, scratching the paint on the top of the cowl if I was to put that on, so I probably won't get one of those just because in my situation it doesn't really make sense. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for now. Those are the really only two new things that have happened recently. I just thought I would share them with you because they're like pretty big advancements, and honestly, the bike looks really good now. Look at it. The bike looks really good. It looks amazing. I love it so far. I mean, between the pipe and the here, let's get rid of this paper so it doesn't look all sticky downy. Now you can see how the bike really looks. So far between the exhaust and that new undertail, I think it looks sweet. So yeah, other than that, guys, I'm going to get back into vlogging a little bit more. I know it's been a while, so watch out for more videos because they're going to be coming your way. They really are going to be coming your way. And with that, guys, I will see you all later. Nasarama out. Peace.